A lot of, me from the hood, so people look at Bleak and don't understand the business he's doing, and they always look at Jay like, oh, yeah. But
that's why, that's why you got like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care of, I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Yo smoke hard coke,
Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene.
So I knew I was okay. When he sold 11 million records, he had deals with Jay-Z in them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. Dude, I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat you like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing, this nigga.
Jay-Z might not even say hard as though.
So we just had a, lit. Jay-Z ain't never take you to a party like this.
Jim Jones just picked the wrong fight, and Uncle Murda ain't letting this one slide. Jim tried to clown Tony Yayo for saying 50 Cent treats his artists better than Jay-Z, but that move backfired fast. Uncle Murda, who's tight with both the Rockefeller and G-Unit camps, jumped in to set the record straight, and the internet went wild. Murda made it clear that 50's been holding down his day ones for years. He keeps his team tight, pockets full, and loyalty locked in. On the flip side, people started saying, once you ain't useful to Jay-Z, that Rock Nation brunch invite disappears real quick.
Like the nigga keep showing up next to the album. That's an indication to me he might have some feelings towards me. That is just everywhere I got an issue. He show up around me. So I mean, you don't get music, because the music ain't usually my motivation. My morals come off the curb. So if you see a nigga keep being around, nigga, when he come around, how your antennas go. So he in a position where he might feel like he did.
Fans online were calling it out, saying Jay runs his empire like a cold business. No emotions, just transactions. But with 50, it's different. He treats his crew like family. So let's rewind to where it all started. Tony Yayo's interview that shook the room. Yayo said something that hit hard with fans everywhere. Jay don't look out for his people the way 50 does. Yayo wasn't lying either. 50's always made sure his crew stays good tours, TV spots, real business moves. He keeps his people shining. He flies them out, feeds them right, and makes sure their names stay hot. All he ever asks for in return is loyalty. But then Jim Jones jumped in, and that's when things got messy. During a talk with Memphis Bleak, Jim started clowning Yayo, calling him broke and saying he still depends on 50 to keep him afloat. That's when Uncle Murda stepped up and checked Jim right there, dropping a line that had social media going crazy. Jay got business partners. When Uncle Murda dropped that line, 50 got brothers, it hit like a gut punch. It wasn't just a slick quote, it was truth wrapped in a bar. That one sentence shut the room down because everyone knew exactly what he meant.
About how
Jay don't look
out for Bleak like Fib look out for you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
And then he said he eat his home halal.
You know what I mean? All right. Okay. I'm chewing halal on my own.
He eats on his own. I eat on my own too.
Right.
I go on my own tour. I just came off tour.
Right.
When have you seen Bleak on tour? On his own. Jay-Z is not a bad guy. Bleak is not a bad guy. I'm not saying. I'm saying to you that Jay-Z was all business with them niggas. When Buck up on his taxes, 50 a piece or more. When Prodigy bought a house and needed more money, 50 a piece or more. Prodigy are paying back. The thing with 50 is, it was business and we was friends. I don't feel like Bleak was Jay-Z friend. I don't feel like Young Guns was Jay-Z friend. It came to a point where 50 was helping Siegel.
Jay builds empires, yeah, but 50 builds bonds. There's a huge difference between running a business and building a brotherhood. Uncle Murda wasn't just defending 50, he was pulling back the curtain on how these two powerhouses move. That moment flipped the internet upside down. The comment sections, the group chats, Twitter, everywhere was on fire. Fans started taking sides instantly. Some said Jim was completely out of pocket for coming at Yayo like that, while others claimed Murda just reminded everybody who's really running things. It became a culture clash, business suits versus street roots. See, 50 Cent keeps his people close because they earned that right from day one. They were there before the fame, before the money, before the hit records, when it was all grind and risk. Loyalty ain't just a word to him, it's a lifestyle. Uncle Murda and Tony Yayo made that clear in their interview when they said Jay-Z never looked out for Murda the same way 50 did. And Yayo broke it down perfectly.
A lot of, me from the hood, so people look at Bleak and don't understand the business he's doing, and they always look at Jay like, oh, yeah. But
that's why you got like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care of, I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Yo, smoke hard coke, yo.
Yo, chill. Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of, nigga. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something, yo.
You do need
you
that
might
help.
need
That's
2
why,
ounces.
That's why
Paid
you
in full move. I got a G for every bump in your face. I promise you that.
That's
I promise you that.
Why you worrying about
Peon, you broke. You know I got it.
I was in 50 crib, no roaches and all that, mean little spot, small spot. Nobody believes in that. You playing Get Rich or Die Trying already in the crib. You had half that done. Like, all right. Once it go, I'm like, everybody get confused. Because they don't think that your dream is gonna come. But you gotta, you know what I mean? That's why I respect him. Because we had more of an assist. We had 50 Cent. So I knew I was okay. He sold 11 million records. Even motherfucker, he had deals with Jay-Z and them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat you like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing you on this.
Jay-Z might not even say hard as though.
So the party we was just at in Miami with the Kardashians, Serena Williams and everybody. We just finished performing. Great time, right? First thing my man here want to say, yeah, lit. Jay-Z ain't never take you to a party like this.
You might get him right.
50 never forgot who was there when he was broke, grinding, and had nothing. That hit home for a lot of fans who value realness over image. But that's when things started to heat up again. The internet split into 2 camps, Team Jim and Team 50. Some fans backed Jim, saying Yayo's still living off 50's success and that Jay-Z just doesn't show his generosity online. They argued, just because Jay ain't flashing money or posting gifts doesn't mean he's not helping his people quietly behind the scenes. But others weren't buying it. Way more folks started dragging Jim for jumping into drama that wasn't even his. Comments got savage. One fan wrote, Jim Jones runs his mouth like he ran when somebody put hands on him. The disrespect was real, and at that point, Jim couldn't backpedal even if he wanted to. Another fan jumped in saying straight up, we all know Jimmy doing the most just to stay relevant. And someone else added, Jim said he better than Yayo, enough said. The comments were wild, and the debate turned into a full-blown digital brawl. Everyone had an opinion, and it was getting messy fast. But let's really talk about that fire line from Uncle Murda. Jay got business partners, but 50 got brothers. That wasn't just slick talk. That was real-life experience talking. Uncle Murda's been in both worlds. He had a short run with Rockefeller, barely a year, before he linked up with G-Unit. And once he stepped into 50's camp, he saw what real loyalty actually looked like. See, 50 doesn't just keep people around for the look or a quick deal, he brings them all the way into his world. He teaches them how to move smart, how to build their own, and how to win without selling their soul. Yayo's been down with 50 since the early G-Unit mixtape days, and even now, decades later, 50's still getting him booked overseas. That's not charity, that's brotherhood. Yayo even broke it down in his own words. 50 always told us, go get a house, invest, build something real. And Uncle Murda backed it up, saying he bought his first house right after signing with 50. That's not just loyalty, that's leadership. That's someone teaching his crew how to level up for real, not just handing them a chain and calling it a day. When Murda joined G-Unit, everything changed. 50 didn't just give him a verse or a shout out, he gave him a platform, real opportunities, and exposure that money can't buy. That's why people say 50 doesn't treat his people like disposable co-workers, he treats them like family. Once you're solid with him, you're solid for life. And when you look at Jay-Z's circle, the vibe couldn't be more different. Jay moves like a CEO, everything's numbers, deals, and benefits. It's all business, no emotion. You're around as long as it makes sense for both sides, and when it doesn't, you're out. That's the difference. Murda was calling out one builds partnerships, the other builds brotherhood. No emotions, no explanations. Just look at the pattern. It's been the same story for years. Dame Dash, Kanye West, Beanie Sigel all helped build Jay's empire from the ground up, and one by one, he cut ties and never looked back. Once you're no longer part of the brand, you're erased from the blueprint like you never existed. And it didn't stop there. Remember Jazzo, the man who literally put Jay-Z on? He mentored him before the world even knew the name Jay-Z. But once Jay reached the top, he switched up fast and left Jazz behind. Jazz even said, I wouldn't have said anything, but he's trying to tell the world I'm something I'm not. That bond was supposed to be forever, but fame and money flipped the whole script. Then there's DeHaven, one of Jay's oldest friends from the Marcy projects. This was the man who held Jay down in the early days, kept him close before the fame and power. But once Jay went corporate, it's like DeHaven vanished from the story. DeHaven went public, saying Jay lied on his name, called him a snitch, and turned his back completely. When asked about it, DeHaven said, "Who is I to him? I guess I was just useful until I wasn't." That line broke hearts across the culture. So when Uncle Murda dropped that now iconic bar, Jay got business partners but 50 got brothers, it wasn't just slick wordplay. It was real talk. Murda was speaking from experience, from everything he's seen up close. He said it best. Beyond all that, we were brothers. For him not to even give me a moment to act like he didn't know me after everything my people and my family sacrificed, that cut deep. That kind of betrayal leaves scars that money can't heal. Being labeled with snitching accusations in the streets, that's the ultimate disrespect. Streetwise, Jay moves like a CEO, strategic, polished, and all about the brand. But loyalty? That's not really part of his formula. Nobody calls Jay loyal, they call him calculated, brilliant, and corporate. Meanwhile, with 50, you can trace his loyalty all the way back to day one, and that's why his circle stays strong. The same people who hustled with 50 inches the grind are still right beside him today. If you ever notice someone missing from his circle, it's because they switched up, not him. That's the real difference between 50 and Jay. One builds brotherhoods, the other builds boardrooms. What really sets 50 Cent apart is that he never forgot who rode for him when times were rough. Back when nobody wanted to mess with him after that infamous Queens incident, his day one stayed solid, and he never let that loyalty go unnoticed. When success came, he didn't replace them with new industry friends or fake alliances. He brought his real ones along for the ride, and that's why you still see Yayo, Banks, and Uncle Murda standing strong by his side decades later. They're not employees, they're family. Behind the scenes, people say 50 treats loyalty like a business model. He doesn't just hand out favors, he invests in his people. Not just with money, but with opportunity. He puts them in position, connects them with producers, gives them platforms, and teaches them how to flip hustle into income. Fans even say 50 doesn't just help, he equips his team to win. He doesn't babysit, he builds bosses. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's moves have always been chess, not checkers. Every move is strategic, smart, powerful, and beneficial, but rarely personal. The moment something doesn't align with the brand, that bond fades into the background like it never existed. People still respect Jay as a business genius, no doubt about that, but even his fans admit, it looks lonely at the top when your empire's built on deals, not devotion. Fans started comparing the energy between both camps, G-Unit versus Rock Nation, and it's night and day. Yayo even said it himself. "We just got back from tour, yeah, we still touring with Fifth. I even do my own runs across Canada, Germany, Switzerland. That's why I don't trip on the hate. I'm out here working." Then Memphis Bleak chimed in saying, "Yo, Jay didn't have us on tour like that." And Yayo shot back quick with, "Hove don't gotta look out, I'm good on my own. But when he does, you'll see me up there." That moment summed it all up. One side moves with brotherhood, the other with business. Let's be real, when G-Unit links up, it feels like a real reunion. You can see the love, the jokes, the chemistry, it's brothers who actually like each other. But when Rock Nation pulls up, man, that feels more like a networking mixer where everyone's checking their watches and calculating who's worth talking to. And that right there is exactly what Uncle Murda meant when he said, 50 builds brothers, not just brands. Even people inside the industry have admitted it. 50's loyalty is the reason he's still respected across so many lanes. Rappers, actors, producers, they all say the same thing. If 50 rocks with you, he's rocking with you for real. That kind of consistency is rare in a business where most switch sides the moment a bigger check shows up. But here's the wild part, 50's loyalty ain't just about emotions or nostalgia. It's strategic. He's proven that taking care of your people actually makes your empire stronger. Every movie, TV show, or business he touches, it always includes the same core team that started with him back in the day. That's not luck, that's loyalty turned into legacy. When he launched Power, he gave acting roles and production credits to his day ones. When BMF dropped, he brought in familiar faces from his real-life story, showing love while keeping the business in the family. Fans see it too, that's why they call 50 one of the realest in entertainment, and it's not just talk, the receipts are everywhere. Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda are still touring worldwide because 50 keeps them booked and active, not just sitting around waiting for a handout. He plugs his people into new lanes, film, podcasts, business deals, and helps them build something of their own. 50 doesn't just chase success, he shares it. That mindset is rare in an industry built on ego, money, and competition. Fans online can't stop debating the difference between 50's loyalty and how other moguls treat their people. Some even joke that being in 50's camp is like having lifetime job security, while being around Jay-Z feels more like an unpaid internship. Good until the networking's done. That joke hit hard because deep down, it feels true. But underneath the laughs, there's a real lesson here. Both 50 and Jay represent two completely different kinds of power. Jay-Z's world is corporate, quiet, exclusive, and strategic. Every move is planned, every connection is business. Meanwhile, 50's style is personal, built on loyalty, trust, and shared wins. One values privacy, the other values presence. And that's exactly why fans connect so strongly with 50. His loyalty doesn't feel like PR, it feels real. You see it every time he clowns with Yayo on stage, when he gives Uncle Murda a shout out on Instagram, or when he puts his people in position to win behind the scenes. That's why people say 50 don't switch up. Because decade after decade, he stayed true to his circle. No fake love, no switch ups, just solid loyalty. So yeah, Jay might rule the boardrooms, but 50, he rules the hearts of his crew and his fans. And that's exactly why this whole debate blew up online, because it's way bigger than hip hop. It's about the difference between business love and real love. But now I want to hear from you. Whose side are you on? 50's loyalty or Jay's strategy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wild celebrity drama, because trust me, the next one is gonna be even messier than this.